Hey y'all, you are tuned in to season 2 of the Powerhouse Lash podcast. This podcast is my diary to the Lash community, where I share my highs, lows, lessons, rants, all things based on my journey as a lash artist. My heart is to share the reality of what it's really like to build a lash business, and I hope that these episodes help you feel seen, validated, educated, humored, and make your journey a little bit easier. I'm your host, T the Brand, and I'm glad you're here. Now let's get to it. Hey y'all, thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Powerhouse Lash podcast. I'm your host, T the Brand, and I'm glad that you're here, especially if this is your first time checking out an episode. I hope that you find it helpful, find it useful, that you learn something, that you're able to grow, and that your lashing entrepreneur journey is made a bit easier. So today in this episode, we are going to talk about a few things that I feel lash artists do wrong when they're starting their businesses. Yes, there's always going to be mistakes to be made. This is how we learn. Mistakes are how we grow and all of that good stuff. But some things we can avoid and don't have to do if we have the tools and the knowledge of how to avoid certain pitfalls. So let's get into it. So the first thing that I think lash artists error with when they start promoting themselves on social media and trying to increase their clientele and increase their followers and engagement on social media is educating the wrong audience. So I've seen over the last couple of years that I've been in the industry, beginner lash artists are always educating other lash artists. They always want to talk about isolation and why it's important and how well they are at it, showing how to make lash fans and how good they are and how slim their bases are and all these things. Talking about taping down lashes. Well, I don't see a whole lot about taping down lashes, but taping down lashes and the proper way to do it, and everything is just geared toward educating other people in the industry. And when people aren't getting clients, when lash artists aren't seeing growth in their business through, increasing their clientele, one of the reasons they're wondering why, because they're posting all of the content, they're sharing, they're educating, people are seeing it, people are liking it, people are possibly even sharing it. But the people who are doing that are people in the industry and not people who are looking to come to you to get their lashes done. So my best advice for that is to spend all of your content for your audience. If you are trying to get more clients in, you need to talk to clients in everything that you post, in your captions, in what you're saying or showing or talking about in your reels, whatever it is that you're sharing. You need to make sure that you are not talking to lash artists when lash artists aren't the people you're trying to get to come to you to get their lashes done. So with a couple of the same examples that I used about educating lash artists, you can educate clients in the same way. When you're showing your isolation skills, talk to clients about what isolation is. A lot of lash artists will post in their comments when they are addressing clients like, isolation is so important. This is how I do it. This is why I do it. But they're not really explaining what isolation is and why it's important. People don't know what isolation is just because, they're not in your lash world. So explain what isolation is thoroughly so that your clients can understand. Talk to clients when you're explaining isolation. When you're talking about your fan making, don't make a caption and talk about this is why lash services take so long. Nobody wants to feel like they're about to have their time wasted. Even though they're about to get a service, this service is going to take forever. Talk about the quality of the service and what you're doing during the service, which is making your lash fan. So they'll get to relax. They'll get to take a nap. They get to slow down and unwind, whatever the things are that you offer that makes your services more exclusive compared to another lash artist. Talk about that and explain, while you're resting, this is what I'm doing. This is how I keep your lashes looking, perfect. And this is why you don't have pain to your eyelid. Like, spend all of your stuff to educate clients. I don't remember the other examples that I used, but hopefully you can, match from there how you can take that content that you're using to educate lash artists and educate people who will actually come to you and be your clients with it. So the next thing is copying without context. And what I mean by that is when you see other lash artists who you think are more established and doing better or whatever the case may be, or if you just think they have great ideas, you copy their business structure and you don't know why they're doing that. They have policies that you may not have, but you go and adapt those policies, or they have philosophies and ideologies and, you know, reasons to doing what they do with their clients, for their clients, but you don't know why. And so when you just take what they're doing and apply it, and then you wonder why this thing isn't working for you in your business, why your clientele isn't responding to whatever policy or whatever you have set up in your business, that's because you may have a different audience than this person. This person has had different experiences in their business, in their life, whatever the case, that you haven't had. And so instead of just taking or copying what you see other people doing that you think has made them successful, first of all, don't be scared to reach out to them and ask, like, hey, do you mind sharing with me why you have this in place or why you do this like this? And then if their reasoning aligns with something that you're experiencing or something you may want to avoid, then I can see you implementing. But just don't copy people's stuff without knowing why, because then you're adding stuff to your business or taking away things from your business without doing a real deep dive into what your business needs. The best thing that helped me was when I started developing policies and structuring my business based on what I wanted it to look like and what I wanted for my clients and what I was experiencing with clients. So like a lot of people will have late fees and post about their late fees and post about the cancellation fee and all of it. I don't have all those fees. And people are like, well, you should. I should, but I don't, because I understand that people are human. I understand that things happen. And Lash just might not be the first priority when you got something going on with your kids. So here's an example. A couple of weeks ago, I had 2 people in the same week cancel like 30 minutes before their appointments. Burned me up on the inside. One of them no-showed, didn't do any kind of communicating, and one let me know 30 minutes before that they had an emergency. But again, people are human, things happen. Now, if I would have tacked on extra fees to these clients when they were ready to rebook the very next week because, hey, I'm sorry I couldn't, you know, or I didn't communicate, I had an emergency happen with my kids. Had I added on extra fees, they would probably be less likely to book the field that they needed or book the full set that they needed, because ain't nobody trying to pay your fee plus the full service fee. And I know you feel like, oh, they got to respect my time and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, but you got to be smart too. Like, don't turn people away and cut clients off and end client relationships because you and your feelings about some time. This is a part of the game. This is a part of the process. Your time will be wasted sometimes. You're going to get no-shows. You're going to get canceled on. People are going to have to reschedule. They may or they may not, but don't be so quick to just do what everybody else is doing without considering what would really work for you and the type of clients that you want. I don't have clients who cancel and reschedule and no-show like that. That does not happen often. So if it does happen, I know that it's an emergency. And then eventually they communicate with me, or they just don't come back, or they come back later down the line. Whatever the case is, I'm not stressing myself out and making a big fuss because of whatever happened. So I say all of that to say, do a deep dive into your business. Think about what you really want for your business and make your policies and structure your business around those things and the type of clients that you want. Moving on to my next thought is not establishing or knowing your target audience. So I know I talk about target audience a lot, and I talk about it a lot because it's like literally the foundation of your business. Everything that you do, from the colors you pick to your logo, to the fonts you use, to the captions that you make, to the type of content you create, all of this is contingent upon your target audience. And if you have not established who your target audience is, your content, your page, your posting, your everything, your marketing is all over the place. And that's probably why people aren't booking with you, because you're all over the place and you don't know who you're talking to. So you can find all of the things that go into having a target audience online. I'm sure there's a Instagram coach somewhere who has that information available and talks about it. But the problem is people create a target audience and then don't do anything else with it. So you've listed out all the things that you want your ideal client to be, but you don't structure your business around what you want your ideal client to be. So the ideal client, when they see your business, they're not coming to you because they can't relate, because you're not aligning with this person that you created that you want to be able to service. I hope that made sense. So once you establish your target audience, really get to know them. A lot of times when people will say, oh, I don't know what to say in captions, I'm like, that's a target audience issue. Because if you know a person, you know how to talk to them, you know what they like, you know what they're into, you know what moves them, you know what their pain points are, you know them, so you know what to say to them. So make sure that if you don't have a solid target audience, if you just want everybody to be your client, that is not your target audience. You need to get very, very, very specific in all of your content. Talk to that one person every single time so that that one person can find you multiple times. I mean, one person, of course, meaning like different people, but them still being in your ideal client bracket. You get what I'm saying. You'll also get people outside of your target audience, but you need to market to that one person. It's easier to hit a stable target than it is to hit a moving one. So get to know your people so that you can get the people in. That's that on that thought. Moving on to my next thought is putting book now, link in bio, and thinking that's going to make people want to book with you. Nobody wants to book with you. I shared a reel a couple of days ago that talked about that a little bit. And one of my friends, she DM'd me and she was like, exactly this. And I see book now or click link to buy now. And she's like, that just makes me feel like people just want my money. And yes, you want to get paid, but y'all, you are problem solvers. If you have a business, you are solving somebody's problem in some kind of way. And that's what you need to market, not that you have availability. They can click the link and see that you have ability. Now, sometimes you do need to post book now, link in bio, because you want to give people a call to action, give them a directive so that they'll go ahead and, they're probably going to do it. But you have to give them something in exchange. You have to give value. You have to educate. You have to have a sense of humor, make people laugh. Like, make sure that your content, you're either educated, encouraging, or entertaining. But in doing so, you're still being consistent with your brand message and talking to your target audience so that whatever you post, whether it's funny, whether it's encouraging, they're still getting something from it and they don't mind booking with you. But you have to give the people more than book now, link in bio. That's just played out. It's not going to cut it. And people just feel like you want their money. So that's just my thoughts on that. Moving on to my next thought is establishing your brand identity without your target audience in mind. This is something that I see all the time. You got logos, you got a brand name, you got colors, you don't have a brand message because you don't know what that is. Okay, I'm not trying to be mean, but a lot of people don't know what a brand message is. People think that a brand message is a motto, and that's not what it is. A brand message is basically just a simple statement that is very clear, straight to the point, lets people know who you are, what you do, and how you're going to be able to help them with what you have, the service or the product. So, when you create your business identity without thinking about the audience that you want to serve and picking everything for your business identity based on this audience, there's a disconnect. So when people see your colors, they're not attracted to them. And when people see the fonts that you're using, they're not attracted to them. And when people see whatever you might be talking about through your content and your captions, they're not attracted to it because you're not talking to the right people. So when you're establishing your target audience, your brand identities, make sure that you're thinking about your target audience. If you created a brand identity without a target audience, then you should definitely go back to the drawing board, because if it's not creating issues for you now, it will in the long run, because again, target audience is the foundation of everything that you do in your business. I'm gonna give you a quick example. So let's say my target audience is women ages 35 to 40. But my colors for my business are hot pink and gold. At 35 to 40, hot pink words and hot pink pictures, that is not attractive. It may look childish. It may just be too much on the eyes. That just don't look like it's for me. That's not speaking to me. So you're going to miss people in your target audience simply because you're using colors that are not attracted to them. Psychology is real. Color psychology is a thing. Google it. Look it up on Pinterest. There are tons of charts on color psychology that can really help you if you're, establishing a brand or if you're looking to rebrand. But make sure that when you're building your business, you're building it based on the people you want to be able to serve. So that is that. Moving on to my next thought. Lash artists, when they're not getting enough clients, the money ain't coming in, they are quick to switch to doing training, switch to selling products. And I was one of them. I was ready to train before I was ready to train. Yes, my clientele was very low, very slow, but also people were asking me like, hey, will you train me? If you don't know how to get people in to get their lashes done, people are not going to come to you for training, and people are not going to buy your products, because at the end of the day, it's not about the lash extension service. It's about marketing. And if you don't know how to market to a target audience with eyelash extensions to get them to come get eyelash extensions, you won't know how to market to a target audience to get them to come train with you. And you won't know how to market to another target audience to get them to buy your products. Target audience is the foundation of everything that you do in your business. And when you're not making money in one area, trying to jump to another area, it's not going to help you make money if you don't understand the principles and the reality of marketing and branding. So don't think and don't feel discouraged if you're trying these things and they're not working. You need to get some help. Free content is not as helpful as you want it to be, because people will share, myself included, people will share as much as they can share, but until you actually work with a person and get to pick their brain and get to really, really, truly and deeply understand why they move and do the things that they do and how, you're going to struggle. So get you some help if you don't know how to market, if you don't know how to brand. There was nobody to help when I was trying to figure this out. Let me not say there was nobody. I did have a mentor kind of early on in my business, and I got the basics. I got what a target audience was, market to your target audience, end of story. So I had all the information, but I did not have knowledge on how to actually practically apply all the things that I had learned from my mentor. And so in my mentorship program, that is what I'm giving to my mentees. I'm not just showing you what you need or telling you what you need to do. I'm teaching you how to think beyond that so that you can apply this in all the areas of your business. I'm showing you how to be intentional and think critically and, just connect the dots and bridge the gap between having information and knowing how to apply that information. I got to get some water real quick. Okay, sorry about that. So basically what I'm saying is don't rush into trying to be a trainer, trying to sell products, trying to sell or do anything different outside of lashes if you don't know how to get clients in for lashes, because you won't know how to get people in to buy your products. You won't know how to get people in to take your training. It's all about target audience marketing and branding. I'm not going to be the dead horse, so let's move on to my final thought on things that lash artists do, or that's a mistake. Mistakes that lash artists make. And the last one is selling lash strips. Oh my God. Okay, so I know we are in the lash industry and you do lashes. So it makes sense to sell lash strips, right? No, it does not, because you are promoting, marketing, educating about a service that is going to help somebody, a service that is going to bring you greater income. But if you're selling and promoting its competition, which are strip lashes, mascara, but mainly strip lashes, people are going to go with the cheaper option. Why do I need to come and let you do my lashes for 2 hours or however long it takes you and pay you X amount of money when I can just buy them for $5, $10, $15 from you, have them shipped to me, or pick them up, or you going to drop them off, and I can just slap them on myself? Time and money saved. You need to pick a side. Either you want to market strip lashes or you want to market lash extensions. This is why it's important for you as a lash artist to truly know the value of lash extensions, because you can't share value of lash extensions and be cool selling lash strips. Like, it doesn't go together. So if you are selling lash strips, you probably don't really know what you have in your hands with a lash extensions business. This is also why I said I was going to do a whole episode on this, but maybe I won't have to if I say it here. This is also why lash artists need to get their lashes done. Lash artists, you think that lashes are too expensive, and nobody's going to come to you if you can't even respect your own game and pay to get your lashes done. First of all, getting over how much it costs, that's a thing. And if you can't do it, you're a consumer just like your potential clients are consumers. So if you can't do it, if you can't model it, if you can't make the financial quote unquote sacrifice or whatever it is, then don't expect other people to do it and come to you. When I found my new lash artist, I was like, oh my God, I got to pay $200 to get my lashes done. And immediately I was like, girl, respect the game? Do you see your prices that people pay? You don't think people cringe and you don't think they squeeze their butts together when they look at how much it costs to get their lashes done by T the brand? Okay, so if you're going to respect this lash artist enough to inquire about her services and go get her services, give what you want to be able to receive. Like, yeah, and you know what I did? I booked my appointment, paid the deposit, and all the things. So that's just that. You have to get your lashes done as a lash artist. Now, you also can't really market the value and the experience of lash extensions and getting your lashes done if you don't know the experience. So if you're not going to get your lashes done, how can you say that the service is relaxing? Have you been to a relaxing service? How can you say that they save you time getting ready? They don't save you time getting ready because you still putting lash strips and mascara on. You cannot relate. So you cannot market it in the way that you need to because it's not what you're doing. You're not living it. You're a hypocrite. Get your lashes done if you're a lash artist, okay? And stop selling the lash strips. You're confusing your audience and you're cheating yourself in the long run, to be honest. So those are all my thoughts on 7 big mistakes that beginner lash artists make, experienced lash artists make. I hope that this episode has been helpful to you. If you have any questions, drop them in the review section on the podcast. If you follow me on Instagram, DM me if you have a question. Let's talk about it. I'm happy to connect with you guys and continue building community. That's all for this episode. I hope that you got something great from it, and I will talk to y'all soon.